Les Bennett, and I'm here representing the American Association of Pharmaceutical Scientists. What we are doing today, and in a number of other interviews, is the American Association of Pharmaceutical Scientists is interested in preserving information and technology and the kinds of spirit that led to innovation of the outstanding pharmaceutical scientists in our field. Today we are very fortunate to have Professor Sung-Won Kim, who is Distinguished Professor of Pharmaceutics and Pharmaceutical Chemistry and Bioengineering at the University of Utah, to join with us and share his views and respond to the questions that I will ask him. Sung-Won, it's very good to have you here.
Thank you, Les. Yeah.
So let's go back to a little of your history. You got an undergraduate and a master's degree in Korea.
Yes.
And then came to the University of Utah working with Henry Eyring in physical chemistry.
Yes.
And that was in 1969. And you even had a very famous paper that I even read in terms of surface tension of binary liquids.
Right.
But it's a number of years, or at least in your CV, until you got into the pharmaceutical sciences. So why don't you tell our audience what was the process of you getting into the pharmaceutical sciences?
Yes. Yeah, I had a Ph.D., as you know, in physical chemistry. After that, and I got postdoctoral position from Dr. William Kolff. He's a famous artificial organ man. So he asked me to do research in biomaterials. At the time, that's the beginning of biomaterials in the U.S. Then I got in biomaterials research. And then 1974, then I started polymeric drug delivery research. And then I have done a lot of work in biodegradable polymer, then heparinized polymer, and the self-regulated drug delivery, and etc. And in 1996, then I moved and my research into the polymeric gene delivery, and since then I've been working in the polymer gene delivery systems.
Yeah. So I know that you were very closely associated with Professor William Higuchi when you came to the
William
college.
Kolff.
Yeah. No, but William Higuchi also in the School of Pharmacy.
Yeah.
So how did you move into the pharmaceutical chemistry, pharmaceutics departments? When did that occur?
Yeah, and then I moved in the pharmaceutics department in 1974. Then we brought in the Bill Higuchi in 1979, and then our department grew rapidly since then.
And in addition, you're well known for starting the biannual or biennial meeting on drug delivery at the University of Utah, and give us a little history of that.
So and then in 1983, and then I founded the international symposium. Title is Recent Advances in Drug Delivery. Since then, we have been doing that every other year. And the next year, it will be 16th. And I think you were invited to speak a couple of times. Then I quit the job, and then 6 years ago, now in the Dave Granger, and you are based doing that. Yeah.
So tell us also a little about the Center for Controlled Chemical Delivery that you started.
In the 1986, State of Utah formed a program, state program, and a center. So they funded several projects at the University of Utah. Then I formed a Center for Controlled Drug Delivery system. Then the state funded me about 5 years. So it was very productive, and then so we formed and also companies too.
Right. Yeah. So I know at least 3 companies, maybe more than I.
Yeah, it's 3. Yeah.
Because I was on the board, scientific board for Theratech, which was one of
you were.
that founded. So you're a very distinguished pharmaceutical scientist. Professor Kim is a member of the Institute of Medicine and National Academy of Sciences and also a member of the National Academy of Engineering. And I think maybe the only member of AAPS that is so a member of those two, although at least one of two or three at most, and have had a tremendous influence in terms of graduate student teaching and visiting scientists. So can you tell me how many Ph.D. students you've graduated?
So, and I trained about 150 scientists, among them 70s and Ph.D. So I produced 70 Ph.D., you know, so the rest of them are postdoc from all different countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is almost all of that work in controlled delivery? And
yes, and then in the last 15 years in gene delivery.
Gene delivery.
Yes, yeah.
So give us the transition into gene delivery. What led you into gene delivery?
Okay, so and about 1994, then I looked for a new project because I have done enough in biodegradable polymers and etc. Then I studied in the gene biology for 2 years. Then and I brought in the 2 postdoc, and then started in the gene therapy. At the time, I thought ultimately this is the therapy to treat the patient. So then I have done a lot of work in the area. So at the time, a lot of work done in the area of viral gene delivery and the virus gene therapy killed the patient. So then and I designed the system which is non-immunogenic. And then this is the polymer system, you know, so
right.
Yeah.
So I think your publications more than 550 and more than 25 patents. Can you tell us what are you most proud of in those publications and patents?
Yeah, and then I have about 35 patents and then 550 publications, and then I have done several work, and one of them is ReGel polymer. Is now in human now. The ReGel is a thermosensitive biodegradable polymer. In polymer science, it is the first work. And then design the thermosensitive polymer, and also it's degraded in body, you know. That's the one. And then in the gene therapy area, then about 10 years ago, and I designed the IL-12 and the anti-tumor gene is now in phase 3, and then for ovarian cancer treatment. Yeah, that's it's very proud of the work.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that one of the companies you founded, or is
that's from the third company I founded. I don't do any work anymore for the company, you know. Third company is a gene therapy company.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think our listeners would be interested because we are actually today we're going to talk to 3 drug delivery scientists. Sungwon's the first of the. I think it's interesting probably for the dynamic that occurs in a faculty member in terms of his responsibility to the university and in founding companies. And why don't you tell us a little of your philosophy and, you know, how you go about viewing that work?
I think, and at least the applied research, like pharmaceutical research, and then after many years of research, and then I think the system should go to the patient directly or indirectly, you know. So if just keep the publication, the patent in the drawer, you know, it's all dead work. So that's what I highly encourage people to produce and the company and make the product and which benefit to the patient eventually. Yeah, yeah.
Those patents, are they generally owned by the University of Utah?
And then in the University of Utah and also some company owned them too. Yeah.
So the Utah and then licensed by the company.
Right.
So the university also benefits from the work carried out.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I think that's a very important concept that I think pharmaceutical scientists understand it well, that if you're really going to have an impact, you need to be able to get it to the person, and the way to do it is a patent that protects it. So has that been a conflict in the university? Not so much with you, but in some universities there's sometimes conflict.
The university actually encourages faculty to form the company. So our university is one of the most productive in terms of faculty forming company, and several companies had IPO. Then our first company, Teratech, as you know, and we formed it 1987, and 1992 we made IPO, you know. That's a great benefit for university and the community and the pharmaceutical community as well, you know. Yeah.
I think Utah was one of the first universities to set up their own science park for their developed companies, and maybe a little history of that.
That's I think university formed and the research park as early as 1960s, you know. So that's about the time MIT forming that kind of things, and then faculty and made many company, and they are located in University Research Park. So
that's been very successful. So tell us about what your students have done. So the 70 Ph.D. students, where have they gone and what have they done?
It's for instance, and the three of them, the faculty member in my department now. So I'm sitting in the faculty meeting, say nothing, you know. So my chairman, Dave Granger, was my student, and Yuan Bae, and Darin Ferguson, you know. And then there are several of them are faculty member in the U.S. So there are many Koreans and who had a PhD from me. Most of them returned to Korea. They all doing excellent work in Korea, and they are leading group in the drug delivery and the biomaterials in Korea, you know. So there are many students from Netherlands and some students from Japan. They all returned to their country and working in the university and the companies.
What is your philosophy in terms of the students that you accept to work in your research program? What are you looking for in the people that end up getting their PhD under you?
And then of course, and you same, and we all want our students to be a top scientist, but not all students can be the top scientist. But I think they still can contribute in the science community, you know. So, and especially those who went to company and they serving well for the company, which is good for the pharmaceutical community.
So have you, I've looked at the CV, but I don't remember. Have you taken sabbaticals and gone to other universities?
I took sabbatical only 3 months per year. And all my lifetime, only 3 times. And I went once in University of Paris and twice in Korea.
And so, actually, it sounds like it's better to stay home. And Good, all right. So, tell us about the perception of your department and your center within the university. Actually, I know it's, what I want our audience to understand is how much appreciated the things that you have done at Utah. And I'd like you, maybe if you could tell us, as a distinguished professor, as the leader in this center, I know you've had wonderful encouragement from the university. So I'd just like to get a little flavor of that.
We have been a very productive department. Now same, and then it's always after your department. We were the second or third. You were the top, so we couldn't beat you. But, our department and the faculty research are all new area, like cell engineering and the gene therapy and the drug delivery, so, and then, and we publish many papers, but not only in pharmaceutical journal, and many papers and published in biomaterials and tissue engineering, and then in some other technology journals. So, and then our university is very proud of our department. We have 10 faculty members. All of us are very productive and do new pioneering research. So
So no, it's a very outstanding department, and you have contributed tremendously over the years.
Thank you.
So let's talk about let's view your responsibility as a pharmaceutical scientist to the world and to maybe the federal government and the kinds of things that you've been called upon to do outside of the university to contribute.
Yeah, and then I don't work for administration, but all I've been thinking and I've been doing is just research, So I created many new research area, So that is, I think, very, very important, So you may know that if we start some new work, then other universities start a similar work, and then and outside, and then the NIH is very important to our department and also for us. I still have 4 NIH R01. The NIH funded and very significant amount of fund for last 35 years. So that's very important. So that's what I've been working.
But you've served on study sections.
Oh, it's many times.
Yeah, that was what I was getting at. Your responsibilities outside of the university.
I served in 3-4 years terms. So yeah.
No, that's really good. And I think probably someone of the sort of the founders of drug delivery, and I count you as one of the founders of drug delivery. The comment that you made earlier, I think many of your predecessors primarily published in pharmacy journals or pharmaceutics journals. And I just, your philosophy, let's go, you've already said it, but I'd like you to emphasize a little more, your philosophy of making sure that the outside world sees us by going into other areas.
So that's, and I think you founded the pharmaceutical research, so until 1999, my group published the largest number of papers in pharmaceutical research. But I published less and less because pharmaceutical research and carry mostly traditional research, so my work doesn't fit there, so I published in the gene therapy and the molecular therapy and the biomaterials research, that journals, so. But I publish occasionally in molecular pharmaceutics, and as a matter of fact, last week one paper was accepted,
Okay, so I think sort of the history of AAPS. AAPS is now 26 years old, and one of the ideas of AAPS, one of the important concepts of AAPS was that this was not just pharmaceutics or pharmaceutical chemistry. It was a broad field that encompassed many areas. So I think you've been one of the people that have really done an excellent job of spreading out our message that pharmaceutical scientists are in a variety of areas.
But I like to advise AAPS and consider and more new research area, bring them in AAPS meeting, so, and organize a symposium and invite the people who are doing some new area, but related to the pharmaceutical science.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Well, Sungwon, I very much appreciate you taking the time to meet with us today and to share your thoughts with our audience. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
You are the most respectable pharmaceutical science I'm doing. I'm thinking always about you,
Oh, thank you very much.
Most productive, most important person. Okay.
But it's not me. This is Sungwon Kim. Thank you very much.